G'day guys and welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to be talking about not really a new drug, but a drug that's become very, very popular as of recently within like the past year or two. And that's what's known as being Ozempic. And in this episode, we're going to go through what it is, how it's made, what it does to you, why everyone and all these celebrities that we've seen massive transformations from are likely using it, and how it came about and everything within the sorts. And then obviously I'll be giving my opinion on it throughout the way and also largely towards the end. But to start with, how it's made is it's made through DNA modifications basically. So basically within our DNA we have peptides, and what they do in the lab through making these modifications to DNA. And so they copy these peptide sequences, and basically what a peptide sequence is, it's just an arrangement of amino acids within protein chains. So amino acids make up protein, and so they copy the peptide sequences within DNA, and these peptides are then extracted from the cells and they're chemically modified to prevent degradation and making sure it doesn't break down as quickly, and to make it more, susceptible to our body, because they want to make sure that when we put this into our body, that our body doesn't break it down super quickly. So that's why they need to modify it to make sure it lasts in our body for enough time. So what is Ozempic? Ozempic is the brand. That's the brand for the drug that they're selling you. The drug that they actually sell you is called semaglutide. And you could just about name every single, as many celebrities as you want that you've seen have a big transformation. They have likely used semaglutide within that period to be able to lose weight drastically. This could be an actor for a movie role, or even just one of your influencers that you know that you've seen photos of them looking really different, and their facial structure is looking completely different. They're likely using semaglutide or Ozempic to be able to lose the weight. It's known as Ozempic because Ozempic is just the biggest brand or company that sell semaglutide. They're the most popular ones. That's why everyone knows it as Ozempic, and that's why everyone calls the drug Ozempic when it's actually semaglutide. And so now the big question being, how does Ozempic make you lose weight? Because everyone knows that everyone hops on Ozempic or semaglutide to try and lose weight. However, no one really knows the intricacies of how it actually makes you lose weight. So what Ozempic does, that looks so dumb holding with my bad hand. What Ozempic does is Ozempic mimics a hormone produced in our body called GLP-1. So that stands for glucagon-like peptide 1. That's the name of it. And this hormone, it's produced in our intestines, and it regulates our blood sugar and suppresses our appetite, or it manages our appetite. So this hormone, it slows down our gastric emptying, if you want to call it that. Basically, it slows down you taking a shit. So what that does is it slows down the time it takes for you to digest your food or liquids and whatnot, and the absorption is a lot slower and the digestion is slower. And so because it's slowing it down a lot more, that means that once you've eaten your food, it's going to be sitting in your stomach for a lot longer, and your appetite is going to be quite low for a lot longer a period of time. And this means that over the course of the day, say you have 3 meals and 3 snacks, slowing down your appetite by this much can cause you to then have 3 meals and no snacks, or 3 meals and 1 snack, or even just 2 meals for the day, depending whether you're a guy or girl, or how much exercise you're doing or whatnot. It's different for everyone, but what it basically does, it just slows down your appetite. So it's forcing you to eat less. Because the way that we lose weight, scientifically, it's a fact, it's purely thermogenesis. There's no special diet. There's no nothing changes your body weight more than calories in, calories out. That's all it is. And because you're eating less meals throughout the day, you're going to end up losing weight. And when people use semaglutide over however long they need to use it for, whatever they have going on, whether they're trying to fight off a chronic disease or they're trying to prevent themselves from developing that kind of issue, or they're a celebrity or an actor who needs to lose weight drastically for a role, taking semaglutide or Ozempic, I'm going to be saying that a lot in this episode, so it's going to get quite annoying, but doing that, say at breakfast, they have their usual breakfast, that meal might take an extra hour or two for them to digest than what they usually would. And so when you do that over the course of a week or two, or even a month, that can cause you to lose weight drastically. Like, I mean, shedding it off. Like, say I weigh 80 kilos and I'm eating 1 meal less a day. So I'm eating 3 meals a day instead of 4 or 5. I would probably drop weight. I'll probably drop like 4, 5, maybe even 6 kilos within 3 weeks, which is a lot. That's a fair amount, especially for someone like me who's already exercising a lot and eating pretty well. Doing that is going to drop the weight off so quickly. Another thing as well that I learned this episode, I have to shout out because this episode is purely inspired from James Smith. He did a few he did a few videos on YouTube about Ozempic and his experience with it, because he's taken testosterone or TRT, I'm not too sure, and he's also taken Ozempic that I know of, and he gave off so much information from that video which I've taken to use for my own, I guess, expression of what I think about Ozempic. And he said that in his video he suffered from like major cramps, like through his sleep he would end up just cramping a lot. And so Ozempic actually dehydrates you as well. So that's what I found is another really big marker as to showing how Ozempic makes you lose weight, because it dehydrates you. And most of the time, a lot of the time when you see like drastic weight gain from day to day, it's usually just water weight. It's not actually you gaining fat. It's because a lot of the time we consume a lot of salt. There's a lot of salt in food nowadays, and we consume a lot of salt. And so I think it's every gram of carbs, we store 3 or 4 grams of water. I'm pretty sure it's 3 grams of water in our body. And carbs alone absorb water. And on the addition of sodium stores water in the body as well. Sodium is an essential electrolyte. And so when you have more sodium in your body needs more water, more liquids to help circulate the electrolytes around and whatnot, because we sweat out a lot of our sodium. I'm sweating out sodium right now as I speak. I think a big thing that hasn't really been touched up on, hasn't really been talked about a lot with this drug, is how it's impacted a lot. And this is not even just like physically, because obviously the physical impact of Ozempic is pretty obvious. It's helping people lose weight. But it's clear that the popularity of it has completely skyrocketed. And it's not just in the company space, but the price of Ozempic shows it's increased their stocks from $21 USD to 58.74 USD as of when I was researching this. So that's a 179% increase in their stocks. And that was from 2018 to this current day, so 2025. That's 7 years. A 7-year stint of 179% increase is ridiculous. And me personally, like, my thought is, I reckon a lot of business people are the reason why this has changed, and that's the reason like why they're using it so much and it's impacted. And what I mean is, say a company wants to invest in Ozempic, the brand, because they know they're selling semaglutide to a really high degree and they're selling a lot of it, and so they think, okay, shit, we need to invest in this. And it's going to, that thought and that idea and that investment probably occurred because so many people from that business were using it. If you think about business people, and especially investors, they work tirelessly and their mental fatigue is ridiculous. They most of the time they cannot be bothered going to the gym. They cannot be bothered exercising. They eat what's available, and they don't really give that much of a shit about their health. So if they're able to lose weight and stay in shape for as long as they can and look good, they're going to do it. Whether that's injecting orally or exogenously. I think that's the word when you inject an external product into you. But they're going to do that. And so these people from these investment businesses are going to say, invest in this company. Their stuff works. Like, this is not a joke. Like, we need to invest in this to make some money. And they've made a fucking good investment. 179% increase is a ridiculous amount of money. But I also think, besides the financial and the physical impact that Ozempic has made, the cultural impact of Ozempic is absolutely ridiculous nowadays. I think it's completely fucked. People are just fighting against what side they're on the fence when they don't even realize the problem with this argument. And what I have an issue with this argument is that people don't realize that they're just arguing for their own lifestyle or for their own physical situation that they've chosen. An objectively healthy person will say that Ozempic is unhealthy for you because it's unnatural. And then an objectively unhealthy person will say that this can be useful because they understand the situation and then it can help someone lose weight because they understand that. A healthy person doesn't need this drug and they don't need to use it because they're already at a healthy body weight. And the person who finds it difficult to lose weight understands that this could be useful to them or to other people in their situation. So they're going to fight to promote it. Most of the people arguing against the use of Ozempic or semaglutide haven't actually looked into the science and the benefits, nor the negative outcomes that can come with using this drug. And the people who argue for this drug and the use of it understand that the position that most of these people are in is very difficult and hard to go through. And understand the position of the people who are trying to use this. And it just turns into this never-ending cycle of people arguing the exact same thing over and over again, and it just doesn't stop. And they never stop to learn or understand the people from the other side of the fence. So, my thoughts specifically on Ozempic, I think that if you have made an effort to go through the right way and the scientific way to lose weight, being calories in, calories out, having a good diet, exercising, and you've actually tried it for months on end, and for some reason it doesn't work for you, and you are still struggling to use it, or the progress is too slow, or you're trying to fight off a chronic disease that can actually harm you, then I think that Ozempic is completely fine to go for. But if you just want to look skinny and you just want to lose a bit of weight, I don't think you should be using Ozempic because it can be very unhealthy for you. It can really stuff up your hormones, especially if you're a woman, because your hormones are so important to keep stable. And by not eating enough meals, you're not going to be getting in the amount of nutrients that you actually need for your hormones. And that can end really, really badly. And I'm not a doctor, but I can understand that having one meal a day, having 1,000 calories a day, can't be really good for anyone. I've actually written down pros and cons of using Ozempic, and these are just blanket terms and not super specific, so you guys can really understand pretty well of how Ozempic can impact you. So, pros of Ozempic, obviously significant weight loss. That can be a pro and a con. Just to clarify, significant weight loss can be a pro and a con depending on your own situation. Prevention of chronic diseases, mental health benefits, mental clarity, decreased adiposity or loss of fat, and increased life expectancy. Most of this relates to you losing fat, having less fat around you, helps your organs, is better for your blood flow, lower blood pressure. There's a lot of things that come with losing weight and not being overweight. And then there's obvious cons, and these can be very, very, I guess, harmful for you when you don't take action into it, or you don't realize that, okay, if I'm already at a healthy body weight, why do I need to use Ozempic? You can have digestive issues. This can be vomiting, diarrhea, constipation, any of those, anything that affects your digestive system, that can be an outcome. Dehydration, fatigue, this is through decreased energy intake. So the amount of food you're eating, there's energy within that food that we need. And when you decrease that to a certain extent, your energy and your mental clarity and your mental power is going to decrease so much that you won't be able to do anything, and you won't be able to be productive, and everything will just feel so much harder for you. And then also, I said feeling flat, which is basically the same thing, but it's like you're emotionally blunt. Like you don't feel like, you feel dull. You feel like you can't express yourself. You don't have any reaction to sort of any statement or anything that's happening to you. And it just causes you to just feel like shit. It can cause you to feel like shit if you do not use this properly. And so, I guess to end it off, I've included the study that I used for this episode. I'll put that in the description below, or in the show notes, whatever you're watching this on or listening to this on. I'll include that in the description so you can have a look through the study yourself, and hopefully you guys got something out of this and understood a little bit more about this new drug, or this popular drug now, and hopefully you guys enjoyed today.